I guess you were all successful in getting into school. And it's a wonderful family that we've seen grow. And John took good care when she left, all frustrated. I'm the frustrating mayor. So I'd like to call the meeting to order on this December 18th, 2025. Christie, if you would, call the roll.
Trustee Gutierrez? Yes. Trustee Porter?
Here.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole? Here. Trustee Broccolino? Here. And Trustee Alba?
Here.
Thank you. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please, acceptance of the agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Christie, call the roll.
I'd like to remove a couple.
Go ahead, Porter.
Herb?
Yeah, I'm sorry, my computer just jumped on me. I wanted to remove the give me just a minute. I'm scrolling through my computer.
Could I go ahead, because I'd like to remove two? 7813 and 7815.
7813?
Yeah.
And 15.
I think it's 8.
And I was looking at 7A17.
17?
Yes.
7A13, 7A15, and 7A17.
Did I hear 8?
Odd numbers.
Okay,
Thank you.
can I call roll?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Trustee Alba?
Yes.
And Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Presentations, village manager proclamation. Okay. I hope I get through this okay. Whereas Juliana Maller has faithfully served the village of Hanover Park as village manager since 2012, dedicating over 13 years to guiding the village with professionalism, vision, and integrity. I learned some of that. And whereas under Juliana's leadership, the village has achieved significant milestones for the village in economic development readiness, strong fiscal health, significant improvements to infrastructure, and an overall quality of life improvements for the residents. 10 years, we have not raised property tax. Thank you. Whereas during her tenure, Juliana advanced the village completion of several high-profile projects, including the construction of Fire Station 16. We didn't bond to build Fire Station 16. The stabilization and sale of Hanover Square Shopping Center. You had to live with that one. And because I was the guy that made sure we bought it before her time. And development of the Village Center plan and public improvements, design for the future 1390 extension, the I-390 extension, and redesign of the MWRD Sports Complex. It's never looked as well as it does today. The 390 extension, that's Hanover Park. That's going to be a marvelous completion at County Farm Road, and it will serve our neighborhoods nicely. And whereas Juliana has worked tirelessly to strengthen the village's organizational culture, foster collaboration among departments, and build strong partnerships in residents, local businesses, and regional agencies. She brought it all together very nicely. And whereas she has led with a steady hand through times of change and challenge and always prioritizing the best interests of the community and ensuring the village operations reflect the highest standards of public service. I know where we were, and I know where we're at. Congratulations, Juliana. And whereas Juliana has represented the village on multiple regional boards and committees, including Northwest Municipal Conference, DuPage Mayor and Managers Conference, DUCOM, and throughout her career, she has served as the president, IAMMA, ILCMA, and the Metropolitan Management Association, as well as the Midwest Regional Vice President of ICMA. John, you were missing her a few evenings, were you not? I know how that goes. And whereas Juliana's commitment to good governance, transparency, and innovation has left a lasting legacy that will benefit the village of Hanover Park for years to come. This village hall doesn't look as it once did. This was a Cook County courtroom with those big bricks everywhere, you know, on the walls. They got cleaned up. The wall was light oak, and it looks beautiful today. Our logo and our signature. And by golly, the red chairs. I wouldn't have ordered red chairs, but Juliana says it's the way to go. We even have a coat hanger in the back. What can I tell you? The front of the building is beautiful. It got bumped out. It made sense. It makes a lot of sense. We cleaned that up. John Kunkel stained those recognition of her veterans on the wall, and they're still there. A lot of the crap around it is gone, but it still looks wonderful. And whereas Juliana Mallard is retiring from the Village of Hanover Park after a distinguished 36-year career of service in which the Village of Hanover Park has been extremely fortunate to benefit from her leadership over 13 years. Now therefore be it proclaimed by Mayor Rodney S. Craig, the Board of Trustees in the Village of Hanover Park, that Juliana A. Mallard is hereby honored. Now, all your children heard that, right? Huh? Mom gets on tonight. And recognized for her outstanding leadership, integrity, and many contributions to the village. And we wish to express our deepest appreciation for exemplary service and dedication to the community. Julia.
Don't forget your street sign.
And TJ, I also have a proclamation for Bob Weiner. I'd like to give it to you at the end of the meeting. And I'd like to come by him in his office and read it to whoever is there. Bob Weiner is one of these guys, 53 years with the village. I thought he was going to die on the job, you know, I mean, he's never gone home. But I'm glad he's taken some time for himself and to retire. He's been here a long time.
We'll get that to you.
Mr. Take Care of Our Water. Very good. We have a presentation from ILCMA.
Thank you, Mayor Craig.
Thank you. The mayor of the manager.
Thank you. I'm Paula Schumacher. I'm the village administrator for the Village of Bartlett. I am the current president of the Illinois City and County Management Association. I'm happy to be here to celebrate Juliana Maller tonight. Bartlett is fortunate to be your municipal neighbor, and we have had the pleasure of working and collaborating with Hanover Park for many years, especially in the last 13 years with Juliana as village manager. I'm also here to celebrate her 36 years of leadership and dedicated service in municipal government. Women in city management have followed the trail that she has blazed. In the United States, about 20% of the municipal and county managers are women. When Juliana and I were in the master's program at NIU together, there were 8 city managers that were female in the entire state of Illinois. She did not let those numbers hinder her. She has worked in managerial roles in several communities and served, as Mayor Craig noted, president of IAMA, ILCMA, the Metropolitan Management Association, here in Illinois and nationally as Midwest Regional Vice President for ICMA. Throughout her career, she has been a role model for good government, ethics in action, and harmonizing professional responsibilities in home life. I have been blessed to call her not just a colleague, but a friend as well, and it is my honor tonight to present this certificate on behalf of ILCMA in recognition of her retirement. A donation to the ICMA Fund for the Profession has been made in her name, and our fellow ILCMA members join with me in wishing her a long, happy, and healthy retirement.
Very nice, thank you. All right. Town hall session, anyone for town hall?
Didn't have anybody sign for town hall.
Thank you. President's report. It's, everybody's good. Nice to see you all. Have a good evening. Okay, my report is truncated this evening because we've got an agenda full. I could say a lot of nice things about Juliana, fine work in this village, and I think I just did. We've got, Juliana, you've raised the department heads, everybody works together, the level of support for employees across the board, second to none. I really like to see that. It's really taken on a life of its own. And however we transition, the staff will be there to support whoever and whomever comes in. That's the challenge of this board, and I know they're up for the responsibility. So with that, I'd like to move to approve by omnibus vote items on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
And those are items 7A1 through 7A12, 7A14, and 7A16.
Okay, call the roll.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Trustee Alba?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
And Trustee Porter?
Yes. Thank you. 7A13, motion to pass a resolution authorizing suspension of the permit to Bartlett Hanover Park Sports Association terminating its permit to use the village sports complex.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes. I removed it from the agenda. So
Pardon?
I removed it from the agenda. I have questions. This is not the Midwest, this is not the Raiders football, is it?
Correct. No, it's just the baseball.
It's just a baseball. Are we going to be looking towards finding another
Yeah,
group
I mean,
that can
that's the
do-
goal. The goal is to have baseball played there. This organization entered into a lease and have not played there, and they have not provided, met the requirements of the lease, which primarily they haven't provided insurance to play there.
Okay, and they were only using it for travel,
Well, they hadn't intended to play tournaments as well as practice there Monday through Thursdays.
So our goal for next year, however, would be that we'll have someone with a little league or something. Okay, that was it. That was just my concern.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Hearing none?
Take roll. Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Trustee Alba?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
And Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. 7A15, move to pass an ordinance amending Article 3, Pension Fund of Chapter 78, the Municipal Code of the Village of Hanover Park by modifying the police pension fund.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion?
Yeah, I pulled it as well. So I was reading through the agenda, and I can see that, this is 7A15, right?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That it was being pulled, but there wasn't a lot of information as to how this was decided or why it was decided. I did some research, and I understand that it's very difficult to hire officers from a small town, so we have to look outside of town. But there's some towns that do incentives so that we can have officers live within the city or within the village. I also understand that, I understand that, you know, it leads to, my research that I read was that, yes, it's great for community policing, et cetera, but it also has other benefits for the village overall. So I just wanted to know why, you know, as I read it, it was very short. It was just, here, we're going to remove this part of the ordinance.
For clarification, this is just the trustees that serve on the police pension board.
Oh, okay.
It's not the officers.
It's
The
not the
section
officers.
talks about those
So
who
then
serve
why,
on the
so,
police pension.
so then
board.
why remove them if they're trustees?
Bernie, do you want to address, you received a request from the pension board to change the section of the code?
So the police, yes, I believe the chairman of the pension board asked for this ordinance. And I believe one of the reasons why they asked, or he asked, or the board asked, was that they currently have some of their members, maybe all of their members, I really don't know, who are not residents of the municipality. And so he wanted the ordinance to reflect the reality of what currently exists. That board is made up of 5 people. The 5 people that constitute that board are 2 that are elected by the active members of the police department. 2 that are appointed by the mayor. And 1 who is elected from among the retired police officers that person is a retired police officer. So quite often, the retired police officers, there may be not that many of them, and it's likely that none of them live in the municipality. I don't really know, but it is likely that none of them would. Then, if that were true and you had to be a resident, they could only serve if they lived in Hanover Park. As far as the ones that the mayor appoints, I'm assuming, but I don't know, you could ask the mayor, but I assume that they are probably residents
They are.
of the municipality. And so the likelihood is that among the people that will not be residents would be the police officers that are active and the retired police officer, although one or two of them may be residents. That's my understanding.
So in changing this, will we lose those hometown appointments, or that will be maintained?
There'll be no requirement that they be residents of the municipality, but
But as a preference?
I would think that the elected mayor of Hanover Park would likely,
Only.
Would only?
Excuse me, I'm one of the elected by the mayor, and I am not a Hanover Park resident.
Oh. So then there's only one?
well, no, she is appointed by the mayor. So the mayor gets 2 appointments. He doesn't have to appoint. He chooses to.
Well, she's our, fine.
But you choose to appoint her. It's not required that she be on. There used to be a statute that required that the finance director or the treasurer be on the fire pension board. But there's no requirement that the treasurer or the finance director be on the board. He just chooses to appoint.
So I'm just concerned about that. I really would like for these 2 people, I also appreciate that you're on that board, and maybe that's something that we could add to the ordinance, that, like we used to with the fire department, but that at least these 2, that they are hometown bodies. I think that that's important. I don't want to lose that. And if we eliminate this altogether, I feel like we may lose that.
Then he could not appoint the finance director to be on the pension board because the finance director does not work.
Right, but you mentioned previously that with the fire department, it used to be that the finance director had to be a part of that
That's
board.
correct.
So we could
And the
amend
Illinois
that.
legislature.
Right, but we can amend ours to include it if we wanted to.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
So just a point of clarification. So we have 5 people on the board. Of the 5, how many are residents?
1.
1 out of the 5.
The one, of the 2 that the mayor appoints, one is a resident and one is the finance director who lives in another municipality.
Okay.
That's for fire, and the other,
No, we're just talking about police.
oh, please.
So Mayor, you mentioned that you generally appoint residents?
I always have.
For that
With the
one
exception of
position.
Finance director. You had, what, 3 finance directors? Maybe 4?
I think I'd like to understand this a little bit more before I vote in the affirmative.
Am I at
'Cause I
large?
guess I'm not.
Is a resident? Am I at large? Oh, sorry.
Bernie just mentioned you can appoint up to 2.
Yeah, what is
One in Brennan,
finance?
currently.
Oh, okay, so you can, but in practice, you've appointed 1 resident, 1 staff.
Yeah.
Okay.
The knowledge of finances come from our finance director, so that makes sense. And the other appointment is the resident at law. For me,
Mayor, can the ordinance be changed so that we have the finance director as part of that, but you still maintain two
No. You may
that
not
for
do.
appointment?
You may not do. Because the pension code
Yeah.
is uniform throughout the state of Illinois. It's found in chapter 40, I believe, leases. 3, Article 3, which is under 500,000 population municipalities. So every municipality in the state of Illinois that's below 500,000 adheres to the statute. The mayor gets to appoint 2. The elected police officers get to elect, well, he gets to appoint 2. The active police officers elect 2, and the retired officers elect
And there's no staff liaison to that board?
that I do not know the answer to.
There is not.
Why is there a residency requirement?
I think that was in there a long time ago, and it hasn't been followed for, and it was just raised by the pension board, so I think it's one of those items that's in the code that's outdated. I just asked the chief, he doesn't even have, he said that there's not anyone who's even eligible who lives in town that could fulfill that requirement now.
There actually was a
Why
time
is,
when most municipalities in Illinois, and this would probably be before 1960, did require residency within the municipality. There was a time before there was civil service and before there was a Board of Fire and Police Commission Act in the state of Illinois, where the mayor of the municipality every budget year would appoint the police officers. And all of that got changed. And also, the pension system came into being, and that was the result. Now, this statute that we're talking about is somewhat recent, because there used to be, I think, more members on the pension board at one time, I believe.
okay, thank you. Remy, so just as a member of this board, has this residency requirement prevented any sort of business that needed to take place?
No.
No, okay.
But that's because there were members that were not residents.
Correct.
Yeah. We were residents.
Right,
Other way it is,
but,
is though-
I mean,
Yeah.
just because it's not being followed doesn't mean
Correct.
that we need to then change our ordinance. So I think that's what I'm just trying to maybe figure out. Can we table this?
Where did these other
Because
residents?
I don't understand I don't understand why we would, if this is not impacting business, and we have a residency requirement,
Oh,
and we
I
encourage
think you
residents
innocent.
to participate in various manners, I don't understand.
I think Remy answered it opposite of what you were asking. So we have one member that is at large, which the mayor chooses, who is a resident. He usually chooses a resident of Hanover Park. We have another member, which is always traditionally been the finance director, does not live in town. We have a retiree. We don't have any police officer retirees that still live in town, so we wouldn't be able to fill the position with a resident because we don't have any police officer retirees that live in town. And then we have 2 police officers, right, on the board, and we don't have any police officers that live in town. Right. So we wouldn't, it would negatively affect, because if you required them to live in town, we would have 4 out of the 5 positions vacant.
So all of these people on the board have an association with the village, 2 current police officers and 1 retiree. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's their pension that
Yeah.
they're overseeing,
Yeah,
yes.
okay, all right.
Was the original requirement for residency about making sure that people on the board are loyal to the best outcome for that pension? Was that the purpose of the residency requirement?
I don't know. I don't know. All I know is that this is a police pension, overseen by those who benefit from the pension, and so I think that they watch it pretty closely and make sure that it,
Yeah,
Well,
I know.
Three people who are members are involved in the pension, not necessarily the other two, unless the mayor chose to appoint a police officer.
but the one is the finance director, who's always gonna make sure that things are.
Well, but
handled.
not by ordinance, there's no requirement for the finance director to be on.
So the answer is yes, you can table it, but I don't know what the change would be that you would make when you brought it back. And I do think it needs to be updated to reflect what we're doing now. You have 5 pensioners,
The
trustees.
request for doing this comes from the pension board. I think that the village staff agreed that this is the thing to do.
How long has this particular pension board been in existence? I'm still curious as to know the background.
Since 1960s. Long time.
60s, 1960s?
Okay. And has the pension board consistently operated in the interest of the interested individuals? Like, has police pension board appropriately run the pension from that time until now?
Correct.
'Cause I know Remy and I were on fire pension board together, and from what I observed, all the fire pension board meetings, there was, former firefighters, there was the village, there was a resident, and we were doing the best we could to watch every penny and make sure that it went to the firefighters and benefited them in their retirement. If this is doing the same thing, will taking the residency requirement off somehow reduce the opportunity for them to be loyal and do the best, be in the best interest? Because like you say, for them, it's mostly in their own interest for this to be operated efficiently.
Yes, I believe it can be well-run without having the individuals live within the village.
So I just want to be very clear about something. So we vote for this, and we vote in the affirmative. Village mayor will be able to appoint 2,
Correct.
regardless of whether they live in town or not, but most likely one of them will, and one will be the finance director. Okay, thank you.
And who is the other person that currently serves as a resident?
Darling?
Who's the other, besides Ryan?
Forgot his
Is
name.
it, trying to remember. It was Troy.
No, I was
No, he was on.
Mayor,
Oh, you were on the fire.
For police, it's the school guy, works from the school. David Joran. David Joban.
Oh, David, yeah, yeah.
I
He
thought
lives
it's
over by
fire.
Troy.
I'm sorry, what's his name?
He's close to the police line.
David Jonan.
David Jonas.
Jonen. David Jonan.
And he lives in town.
He lives in town.
Are we good?
Thank you.
Are we good?
Can I take roll?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, trustee Alba?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
And trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Thank you. 7-8-17.
7A17, move to authorize the village manager, pardon me, to enter an agreement for lobbying services with Roger C. Court and Company, Inc., for a period of January 1, 2026 through December 31, 2026, in the amount of $24,000. Execute the next. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion is second, discussion?
Yes, I asked for this to be pulled. I know we had a discussion in the past about our lobbyists and the scope of their involvement, whether they were representing us adequately on both the local, state, and national scale. And so this agreement with Marquardt, where it outlines the fee structure, it doesn't give us any indication as to what areas will they be representing and lobbying on our behalf. Are they strictly a state lobbying group? And,
State lobbying group.
and then to that end, my next question is, what benefits have we received from their lobbying efforts? What have they been able to procure? What have they been able to produce in terms of their lobbying efforts? I served with Northwest Mayors Conference Legislative Committee, and we go through a number of things, and not that I would hear them mentioned, but I'm just wondering, what advocacy have they undertaken on the part of Hanover Park that we should be aware of?
Specific to Hanover Park, in January, we put together a list of our expectations for the coming year for grants and there's a number of things. And so when I go down to Springfield, you've gone with me, many board members, Juliana's gone with me. Our first stop is Marquardt's office. We review everything, coordinates with the legislators on our behalf on those issues. We set it up when we walk around, we talk to the legislators, and then when we're not down there, they work those issues on our behalf throughout the year as they come up.
I know that's the model, and that's what we seek to do. But has there been anything concrete where they can say, we advocated for this issue that you brought up, and we spoke to this group of representatives of state senators, and this is now on the docket to be voted on or be considered, and we push heavily for that? I mean, are there any results from it? Because I'm just wondering, I know we've had this contract with them for a while, and they're very hospitable when we go down to Springfield, and I certainly appreciate that. But I just want to make sure, even though, you know, it's for a nominal amount, it's not even the amount of money that I'm questioning, it's the result that we're getting from it, from them. And is there any reason why we should continue in this arrangement without exploring offers from other competitive lobbying firms that, you know, might be able to enhance the results that we're getting?
Yeah, I think the role with us. Did you want to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, to answer your question, they provide, from them, they're providing their, an update. You all receive it. I believe Sue forwards it to you to keep you up to date on,
Right.
I think it either comes out weekly or monthly, bi-weekly, of what's going on in Springfield. So they're providing us with that information, that newsletter, and that write-up on all of the bills. We would not receive that if that's part of what they provide to us as part of this contract. Second, they are monitoring the grants that we've received, so we have that spreadsheet that has all of our outstanding grants through DCEO, et cetera. They're our contact, in addition to DCEO. If we can't get an answer, we're calling their offices, and they're helping to track down where those are at. And then third, they're the contact for us when we do have an issue or want to understand something at the state level in Springfield. They're a contact, whether the mayor's going down with one of you to their offices or if we're just calling. I can't say that we had any specific or issues that were prominent this year that we needed to call them on, but we at least had that information flow back and forth. So they did not raise their rate either. It's been the same rate all
We've
along.
had the same rate for ever since they cut it in half.
So-
I know that in the, like, last year or the year before, they offered to come and meet with each of you here, one-on-one or two-on-one, to talk through and be available. We can schedule that at any time. They've offered to do that. If you were in Springfield, they're happy to meet with you there. They're available to all of you. This isn't just a contract for staff or the mayor, it's for the village. So they're available for all of us.
But I think that would be helpful.
Yeah,
Yeah. They used to write a report for the year, but then they found that there was information that they, might be confidential or sensitive that they didn't want to put in writing. So they preferred to have the conversation one-on-one with you.
I've read the reports that we get through your office.
Yes, but separate, they were doing
Yeah,
a
but they
annual.
seem generalized, not
Yeah,
specific to
specific,
Hannibal
right.
Park. The reports that they
Correct.
give, it's an overall report on what's happening in Springfield and not, again, specific to Hannibal Park issues, so.
I think they prefer to have a verbal conversation about the specifics with you.
So, and thank you for that. Thank you for bringing that up. So, just to the board, you may remember that last year I pulled this contract off of the agenda because there were many questions that we couldn't answer. And then after I pulled it off the agenda, Scott was able to come in and meet and answer some of my questions. But a year ago, and actually even the year before that, I had expressed some of the same concerns. What is it that we're getting out of this continual contract? And, given our needs, given our funding needs, I just, I've raised similar questions. I would even just provide this as an example. Juliana, you'd mentioned we didn't really have any significant requests. But just a couple months ago, one of our requests was to encourage our General Assembly to put forth some sort of legislation where federal agents wouldn't have masks. And we called on our federal officials, we called on our state officials. I would have loved to have seen our lobbying firm that we pay, that we keep on retainer every month, say, hey, we know that this is something that is clearly important to you, given that you've taken the time to put forth a resolution. This is how we're going to make sure that this information gets to the General Assembly members. If we get a response back, we'll let you know. We've had a lot happen this year with the federal government. So, I'm sensing a theme because every year, every December, we get to this contract and none of us can really pinpoint what it is that they do and how they assist us. And I agree with her that they're very kind and I know that they're knowledgeable and I know that they work hard. I would like to see more, though, and so those are just my comments.
it's a type of firm that really works on our behalf on the issues. When we go down there, we go down there to target those legislators that are supportive of our initiatives or those that are in ways. And we have a briefing beforehand, and it has a lot of value for us when we do go down. And we have an understanding of who to meet, when to meet, and have that coordination for us. The amount they charge us is almost nothing, if you look at what other lobbyists charge. And there are lobbyists down there, and I know a few. They're like the gorilla, they can beat themselves on the chest, and I did this and I did that. Marquardt's firm is more, let's defer that to the leadership of Hannibal Park. And so, on behalf of the village, when they go out, it's more of a style that kind of works on our behalf, behind the scenes, not pushing and aggressive. And so that's worked for us for a number of years. And it's one of the reasons whenever I go down, like for lobbying day, or when I go down to hear the governor speak, I like to be down there for that, that I meet the appropriate legislators and describe our agenda and put those things of value for the village of Hanover. Okay? So,
I'd like to, sorry.
Well, and the other thing that I have questions on is that Marquardt is a big player in the local political scene here in DuPage County, and has a very strong political presence. And I know that in Springfield, I'm just concerned that that might put them at odds with the majority that's represented in Springfield when they're pushing forward some of these agenda items, if they are being looked at askew because of their heavy political stance in DuPage County. I would prefer that our lobbyists had a more neutral
Yeah.
political posture than one that is so obviously slanted to a political orientation. And I have just noticed that through some of the previous election cycles, that they've been major players in the local politics here in the area. And I've got to say that I know that there are legislators in the General Assembly that when it comes down to them making an argument or pressing the case for a particular issue, that it's taken a certain way because of their political orientation.
well, Halfman's firm is just the opposite. And so how that balances out, I think Juliana, who was it, you and I sat down with the lead of the Democratic caucus on our red light cameras. And I think he's since passed, but, you know, they have, he's got a couple of, that work with him directly. They're all like independent working for him. Skip is one. He's very, very supportive of that on the other side. So he has a balance in his office.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and be in the affirmative for this renewal, but I certainly want to have that meeting. And I want to have that discussion, because when this comes up in 2026, I don't want to be asking these same questions without
I think
having
he's more than willing to come up.
a chance to have this discussion with him. I mean, it's for a nominal amount, but it's not the amount, it's the results. It's the outcome that I'm concerned with, so I want to have that discussion with him.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'd like to add that before, that there's, I'd like to propose to the board that an addition be added to the contract, that we do receive a report of the work that they're doing and how it relates directly to the Village of Hanover Park, and how the things that are top of mind for us, which have been several this year, how they have worked to advocate on our behalf. I'd like to have that added to the contract before we
So
vote for something.
I respect that. It was in the contract several years ago, and they requested that it be removed. I would say if you want to add something to this contract, that we would have to go back and have a conversation with him regarding how that would be done.
I would like to propose that, because this is, I think, now the third year in a row where we've just had some questions, they haven't been answered. At the time of the meeting, there isn't a representative here currently, so
Well, I
I
think
think that might be best. So I'd like to make a motion that we go back to this particular firm and ask them if they would consider amendments to the contract and consider additional reporting measures that would satisfy some of the requests that we've made here tonight.
I would not support that, because January 1st, this is over, and I'd like to approve this and then have that conversation about how we put that in place. I don't want to go down in January without the support of a lobbying firm. So if we can go forward with this, we'll invite them to come up, or we'll go down there, however we do it, and we'll talk about how we discuss what you're suggesting. Because we'd have to have a consensus of the board to provide that direction.
I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but we had this same conversation a year ago.
Well, this
So
is the
let's-
11th hour.
Let's work to,
We can do
fix
that,
this
but I would
issue.
suggest okay, there's no second. So on the motion,
If-
call the question?
Yeah, I have another question. So following up on trustee Bancoli's suggestion, if we vote to approve this contract through January 1st of 2026, because I understand it's expiring at the end of this month, what avenue do we have to request of them the reporting that trustee Bancoli is putting forth, so that we do get that type of reporting, short of writing it into the actual contract? What can we do to assure that we get that type of report?
Let's
My-
establish a meeting.
Yeah.
That's
My
fine.
suggestion would be that we have he and his firm, whoever he brings with, meet with you. We can set up meetings on a Thursday prior to or a different day. You can each meet in twos, just so you don't break the Open Meetings Act. The concern he has, and he will explain to you, and we can have a discussion with him during those meetings, is he doesn't want to have in writing what he's advocating, how he's working through issues for Hanover Park specifically, because then it's a foiable document, and he has concerns about that being out there. And so he would rather have that conversation with you in a conversation instead of in a written report. And so, again, that used to be a requirement, and then he requested that that be taken out. I don't know whether he had an issue regarding that. He took it out of all of his contracts.
Yeah, that's
I
kind
know.
of nonsensical to me.
So I just can't promise you that it's going to happen either way, whether you pull it off or whether you move forward with it this evening. But
Okay.
we can definitely schedule meetings
Let's-
for him to come
My
and discuss it.
recommendation is, because I know this is an important issue, is that we schedule that meeting, and if he can't abide by what we're asking, we don't have any recourse to terminate the contract until the end, until it's run its,
I do think that there's an out clause in the
There's an out
contract.
clause.
I think it said 30 days written notice.
I think there is.
It says either party may terminate this agreement within 30 days prior written notice.
Yeah.
okay, all right, so then let's have those meetings, and if we don't get the necessary response that we're looking for, then we can consider that option of terminating the contract.
Is the contract paid on a monthly basis?
Correct.
Thank you.
Because it's a monthly
so
contract.
we'll have a meeting scheduled before that 30 days.
Yeah, the 30 days starts when we just said so. when we decide.
We'll definitely have the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Trustee Albuck?
Yes.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
And Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Move to approve warrant 12/18/2025 in the amount of $948,432.75.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions, discussion? Hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Trustee Albuck?
Yes.
Thank you.
19, move to approve warrant paid in advance 11/26/2025 through 12/11/2025 in the amount of $2,248,599.56.
So move.
Second.
Discussion, hearing none. Christie, call the roll.
Trustee Porter?
Yes.
Trustee Kunkel?
Yes.
Trustee Bancole?
Yes.
Trustee Broccolino?
Yes.
Trustee Albuck?
Yes.
And Trustee Gutierrez?
Yes.
Thank you.
Village managers report.
No report, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, the treasurer's report.
Treasury report.
The treasurer's report for November 2025 is included in the packet. It's a fair reflection of how we are proceeding to the end of the year. So we will see as we receive the next months that it'll be a fair reflection. So that's what I'm happy to answer any questions, or Remy can as well.
Good night, Paula.
Can I follow?
Any questions for the manager or the treasurer? Village clerk's report?
Just want to thank everybody for the tree lighting on December 5th. Special shout out to Public Works, Police and Fire. Thank you for working out in the cold and making it a smooth and wonderful event, even though it was a little chilly. We appreciate you. Thank you, Juliana, for the last 5 years that I've been here. We appreciate you so much. And just want to say Merry Christmas and Happy and Healthy New Year to everybody.
And I enjoyed the
See
chili.
you in 2026. You like the cold?
The chili, it was good.
Where did I have chili? Okay.
Play on words. Corporation Council report?
I'd like to congratulate Juliana Mahler on her retirement. It's a major life achievement, the culmination of a career, the beginning of freedom, rest, and new adventures.
Thank you.
I'd also like to wish all of you and everyone in the audience a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
Trustee reports. Trustee Gutierrez.
Yes, so the Illinois Accountability Commission met today to hear testimony about what's happening with immigration enforcement in Illinois, and I was invited to speak, but quite frankly, I am tired, so I didn't go. But it was heartbreaking to hear, but one of the things I heard, I was hearing villages, people speaking about how villages were violating the Trust Act and all these things. I just want to say how proud I am of our police department and the fact that we passed that ordinance recently, so bravo to you guys. Thank you so much for abiding by the Trust Act. And we know that they were in town a couple of days ago again, so just thank you to our police department. Also want to thank Public Works as well for delivering a lot of toys and a lot of coats over to the Partners for Our Communities. We were able to keep quite a few people that are transient homeless warm because of the coats, thanks to our fabulous clerk, the Mission Church. And just the toys came at a time when so many families are losing the primary breadwinner to immigration enforcement. So those toys came in, and I got all the accolades. I got all the things. I was Santa, and I was like, no, it wasn't me. It's not me. It's these amazing people. It was Santa. So just thank you for that. And then Courtney, just know that we're here as you step into some really big shoes to fill temporarily, but we're here for you, and we'll try to be nice and try not to scare you. And Juliana, thank you so much for putting up with us. We are I think this is the toughest board you've had to handle in all the tough boards that you've had. So thank you for putting up with us and for keeping us informed and just your patience with us. I really appreciate that. Congratulations. I hope you have some kind of side hustle, because I think you're really young to be retiring. And because somebody up here said, you know, after Bernie spoke, somebody said there might be boredom, but I don't think there'll be boredom, right? I don't think there'll be boredom. And then just, I pray that we all have a wonderful, healthy, and peaceful holiday season, and I'm really excited for this board for 2026. So Happy New Year to all of you. That's it.
Very good. Trustee Porter?
Thank you. I just want to say that as this is our final meeting for calendar year 2026, that it has been an honor and a pleasure to serve on this board and with all of the department heads that are here in the room today. I'm really proud of the fact that we navigated through 2026 and we had no 2025. We navigated through 2025. We had no scandals, no roaring headlines in the paper, that our residents have not stormed the halls of the village with complaints. We've had a few instances, but I think overall, we've managed this village with a considerable amount of excellence and with a considerable amount of empathy for our residents. We get high marks on our fire department, our police department, our public works department, our finance department from our residents. They're all held in very high regard. And I know that that's because we have a dedicated staff of people who are committed to the betterment of Hanover Park and our village residents. I look forward to continuing that standard of excellence for 2026 as we move forward and confront the challenges. And there will be many challenges in 2026 as we confront those challenges and continue to move forward with the best interests of the village at heart. Finally, I just want to thank Juliana Mahler, our esteemed village manager, who has been a stalwart and has been just so instrumental in the direction and the completion of so many different pivotal projects and given us momentum in areas to complete and to pursue objectives that have made this community a better place for all who live here. I know how hard you work. I know how hard the work is. And so, I just want you to know that you are truly appreciated as you go into this next era of your free agency, as we mentioned, and I'm sure there'll be quite a bidding war for your services should you decide to enter back into the market. But even the best, when they retire, they always say, I'm retiring, and then someone talks them out of retirement and they come back. Michael Jordan did it a couple of times. So you'd be in good company if you made that decision. But best of luck to you. You're definitely appreciated, and you will be missed, but we will persevere and move on. But thank you so much for your dedicated service. And that concludes my remarks.
Thank you. Trustee Kunkel?
Yes, thank you, Juliana, for what you've done. I was here when you got hired, now I'm here when you're retiring. So that's how long I've been here. My hair was black when I started, and now it's gray. Anyway, on the 10th of December, I was at a POC open house, a very nice open house presentation to everybody. I also attended 2 IT symposiums, last Friday and this past Tuesday. Just a few complaints from residents. The residents that live on cul-de-sacs, they said they didn't get their cul-de-sacs plowed until 3 days after the heavy storms. And that was true because I went to one of their houses and just to look, to check. But whoever we're contracting with, they're not keeping up their end of the bargain. They're waiting until a few days later. I know they're busy. I know they've got other contracts. But understand people in the cul-de-sacs also need to get out. Also, I want to thank the residents for their gracious.
Sir? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Would you like me to respond to that? I agree. We've had extensive meetings with our cul-de-sac contractor. Since this is the first time that we've used them, and they have assured us that they've bought additional equipment, they've done additional training. We actually even met with them again today, and that their response will not be anything like what we received the first time. So we concur and are working to correct that.
I'll ensure I'll let the residents know. I also, I want to thank the residents that were the gracious coat donations that were given at the tree lighting ceremony. And one thing that's I've lived by is there's 2 types of people. Doesn't matter what color you are, what race you are, what religion you are, but it's either you can dance or you can't dance. That's my funny for the year. That's it. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Kunkel. Trustee Bancola?
Yes. My hat's off to our village clerk and all the staff, especially Public Works and Fire and Police, who put on a very successful tree lighting. Really, year after year, I'm so grateful for all the efforts that go into that. I know it's a lot of work, so thank you so much. Juliana, thank you, thank you, thank you. You have led with such a common sense approach for so many years. You've been so steadfast in your commitment to our village. Thank you for your vision. Thank you for your leadership. I know this is not an easy job. There are so many different aspects to this, so many things that can go wrong, and a very passionate board to go with it. And so I really want to express my sincere thanks and gratitude for all that you've done for this village, the new heights that you allowed this village to take on under your leadership. And I truly wish you all the best in this new chapter of your life. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Denny Broccolino.
Thank you. On the 5th, I was able to attend the tree lighting ceremony, and despite the weather, it was great. Just wanted to thank Police Department, Fire Department, Public Works for all their efforts, and Christy as well. On the 6th, I attended the Historical Committee's archiving event, and that was a lot of fun, and I'd like to know when the next one is. Oh. The 27th?
And I have staple removers in my office for you.
And I would also like to congratulate Juliana on her retirement, and best of luck in the next chapter. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody.
Trustee Albert?
Yes, sir. So I would like to add on and echo and pile on to everyone else's comments about thanking the village manager, Juliana Mahler, for her service. I hope you do much better at retiring than I am doing. My retirement's been a complete disaster because I think I'm busier now. But I'm sure that you'll have at least as much success as I've been having. The only other thing I'd like to do is make a challenge that is essentially a holiday reading list. It's not a Christmas carol or 'Twas the Night Before Christmas like you would expect. Instead, looking back on this year, I would like to challenge people to actually do some homework. This reading list is, I think, some things that have been not getting enough attention and should be at the center of people's focus in these contentious times. I was reading the national security strategy that was just released by the federal government a few days ago. It's about 111 pages. And based on my experience, which was a long time in the military, all the way up to the strategic level, it occurs to me that it looks a little bit like our country has written a suicide note. And that may sound scary or alarmist, and that is not my goal. My goal is to get people to be more familiar with some of the key events and key conditions that we're experiencing, because as much as we want to say things at the federal level or things at the state level are not in our lane, amazingly during this past year it has been quite evident that those things can actually land very close to home. So here's the reading list. The Declaration of Independence. The Constitution of the United States of America, to include the Bill of Rights. The Constitution of Illinois. The Budapest Memorandum of 1994. The Law of Warfare. And of course, like I already mentioned, the National Security Strategy. Just taking some time out and reading some of those documents, I think will encourage people to hopefully adopt a pattern of reading in a way like we used to when we were students, doing your homework. It's tough nowadays for people to have conversations about bigger issues because a lot of times they're missing the information that would give them insight to be able to have a discussion from a position of knowledge. So please, take some time, especially if you have time over the holidays, to do some reading. And then build a pattern of doing that reading on a regular basis going forward. And beginning in the new year, I would love to engage in conversations with anyone about any of these things because I'm passionate about them. I care about them because I care about the country, partly based on my own service, defending the Constitution for 40 years. I care about the state because I've been a resident here for almost my entire life. Even when I was away, Illinois was still my home of record. I care about this village very much. When I was away fighting the wars, my family was here. And so in a sense, this village looked out for my family while I was gone. And so I appreciate that. And I'm happy to be able to serve the village, something back for that and all that time. Also, as a historian, because that's what my initial degree was in, and as an American, I would love for all of us to be able to continue to discuss things that are pertinent to us and move conversations forward so that we can have a better understanding and better success in the new year. So, of course, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, God bless everybody. That concludes my remarks.
Thank you. Executive session, Ernie, take,
So I understand that we're going to executive session. 2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, performance, dismissal of a specific employee. 2C11, pending and or probable litigation.
with that, motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I'm sorry, when was the executive session scheduled?
Right after this,
Tonight?
No, and when was it added to the agenda?
just now. Get that.
Just now.
Yeah. With that, Christie, call the roll?
To go into executive session, trustee Porter,
Yes.
trustee Kunkel,
Yes.
trustee Bancole, trustee Polino,
Yes.
trustee Albuck,
Yes.
and trustee Gutierrez.
Yes. We closed in session.
We'll close in executive session.
We will close the meeting in executive session. We will not be returning. Motion to adjourn, well,
No, we did
no,
not motion to
not
adjourn.
adjourn.
We did not say anymore.
We'll adjourn in
The
executive
time is
session.
8:12.
Sure. Well, I don't know what personnel is about.
Hello.
I'm sure it's about